I'm curious, if you don't mind me asking, by show of hands, how many people have ever been to Lambert's where they throw the rolls at you? Okay. Makes you proud to be an American, doesn't it? Right? How can you not love a place that throws dinner rolls at you? So some of you may know that's in Sykeston, Missouri, Lambert's Cafe, where they throw the rolls at you, and conveniently, that is right at the halfway mark between Memphis and St. Louis. I was in the seminary at St. Louis, so for all the seminarians, as we would go back to school, we would make a pit stop at Lambert's and gorge ourselves. And so we were there. I was there with maybe 5 other seminarians years ago. And I kept trying to get the guy's attention, the guy that would throw the rolls at you, right? And I was trying to get his attention, and he just didn't see me. And finally, he was on the other side of the dining room. And I yelled across the dining room, and I was like, give me a roll. So he looked back, he aimed. He took this roll and just launched this thing like 25 feet across the dining room. And according to seminarian lore, it passed through 3 ceiling fans, right? Flags hanging from the ceiling. And I have to tell you, I have 0 eye coordination. But for whatever reason, even they always say even a blind pig finds a truffle every now and then, right? So I stand up and I caught this thing in mid-flight. And on cue, the whole dining room was like, gave me a round of applause, so I took a little curtsy, right? From that day on, the seminarians, their nickname for me was the outfielder. And so about 2 years later, I met one of the seminarians, and I said, hey, I introduced myself. He said, oh, you're the outfielder. And so it's funny, isn't it, that sometimes we have things that we remember people by, for better or worse. Maybe it's a dinner roll, maybe it's something that they did that really hurt us. And we kind of overlook the fact that maybe they themselves were hurt. As they say, hurt people hurt people. And maybe there's more to that person than what they did to me. Maybe there's more that they do that I don't know about. But we focus on the bad, the one thing that they did, right? We just obsess about that one thing, that one wound. And we think, maybe they've changed. Maybe they've changed. Have you changed from where you were 20 years ago? I mean, think about, I'm picking this at random, 1997. What were you doing in 1997? I don't know, Father. Right? Have you changed since then? People change. Okay, well, maybe that person that wounded you has not. I don't know. But maybe they have. Matthew chapter 5, Jesus gives us what I believe is arguably one of the most difficult teachings in all the Gospels. He says this, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. Yeah, but Father, I'm the exception. I'm the exception to that rule. That's only for other pious people. No, you're not. You're not the exception to the rule. By the way, you only see that in Christianity. That's only for Christians. I mean, what I mean is you don't see that in any other world religion. That type of thing, where we're praying for and forgiving the person that hurt us. And people will hold on to things. And a lot of times people will chew on things because they themselves are insecure, right? They're insecure. Or they build it up in their mind according to something that it wasn't, like it was something small, but as the years have gone on, it's gotten something big. And they hold on to it. Maybe you've heard me use the analogy before. It's like Marley's ghost on the Christmas Carol. He carries all those chains with him. That's how it is. They carry those chains for years, right? We have to forgive. Well, how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, let's say what we're not going to do. By forgiving and loving our enemies, what we're not saying is this, that we sweep it under the rug, that we pretend that everything is butterflies and rainbows, that we're condoning bad behavior, or even that we have to confront the person again. That's not what we're saying. In fact, it could be dangerous if we confront them again. What we are saying is that while we cannot change the person or the event that wounded us, we absolutely, positively can change our interpretation of that person and event. That is within your power and mine. Yes. We can't control that person. We can't change the event. Yes, it hurt. Yes. But you know what? As they say in Deuteronomy, that which is your greatest curse can become your greatest blessing if you use it. We're going to flip it on its head now, and we're going to use it as a springboard to bring us to the next level. Or we can use it as Marley's ghost, the chains that follow us forever. You decide. You got to choose. But let's be crystal clear on this point. And people are sometimes surprised when I say this, but let's be clear. As Catholic Christians, we are not called to seek happiness above everything else. We're not. Why? Because humanity is clearly shown when it seeks happiness above everything else, they have a real funny way of looking for happiness in the wrong places. Am I right? As they say, you jump from the frying pan into the... That's right. You make it worse. As Thomas Aquinas said, the man who knocks on the brothel door is looking for happiness. Looking in the wrong place. But you see this sometimes in people's life. This is going to make me happy, that'll make me happy, that relationship will make me happy, and they're just looking to fill in the hole. I always call that spiritual crop dusting. Try this for a while, try this for a while, try this for a while. No, how do we find happiness? Real happiness that sticks. Seek holiness first, and happiness comes as a byproduct of that. But when we put happiness first, it'll never ever fit. Because we think other things are going to make us happy, and they don't. Or as Jesus says, seek first the kingdom of God, and everything's going to be given to you besides. Well, we're never going to grow in holiness unless we love our enemies. Welcome to Christianity. So those of you that are old enough, you may remember 1994, 31 years ago, sadly in Rwanda, they had the genocides with the Hutus and the Tutsis. 1.2 million people died in 3 months. Horrible. What was sad about this was not armies killing people. This was families killing families. Literally, grandparents killing grandparents. One of the people that lost everybody in their family was a religious nun, Sister Marie Mukabayire. Sister Marie Mukabayire. The only reason she survived was because she was out of the country when it happened. So she lost everybody in her family. Years later, she came back, and she was, about the year 2000, she was walking around the prisons in Rwanda, visiting the prisoners. And this man, out of the blue, he comes up and he throws himself at her feet, and he's like sobbing, right? And she recognized the guy. She's like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in years. So she like picks the guy up, right? And he's crying. She's like, what's wrong? And he took a deep breath, and he looked at her, and he said to her, I did it. I did it. I killed your mother. I killed your father. I killed your siblings. And I turned in your cousins to be killed. Can you imagine someone tells you this? And she said that for years she fantasized about how she's going to take revenge on whoever did this to her family. And here she was. She's presented with the guy who did it. He admitted it. And so she has a choice to make. And this is what she did. She leaned over, she took the man's face in her hands and said to him, "I forgive you. You are my brother, and I love you." And she said at that moment, it all went away. She had peace. Peace. From all this revenge and this anger, nobody would fault her for wanting that. I would want that. Listen to this. Today's gospel. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives it to you, do I give it to you. And one of the ways he gives it to us, ironically, is by forgiving and loving our enemies. How could you do that? It's because it's not in the spiritual crop dusting that's going to give us peace. It's actually in using the person that wounded us the most that he gives us peace. That's ironic. Welcome to Christianity. We have to decide, but I can guarantee you this: we will never find happiness if you don't seek holiness first. We'll find things that satisfy us for a while, but the newness will wear off like a new shower curtain or an iPhone. And eventually that fades away, and you're left with one question at that point. Now what? Oh, we find something else. And then the newness wears off, and we think, well, now what? Is there anything that sticks? Yeah. Seek first the kingdom of God, and the happiness will come. And I'll close with this. I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that everybody in this church this morning has lost somebody close to them at some point. Maybe a spouse, maybe a child, maybe a parent. I've lost people close to me. And it is very common, in case you didn't know this, for people who have lost someone close to them, that they have very, very vivid dreams about the person, enough to where you think that, like, you wake up and you think they're right next to you. One woman from our parish, she told me recently that she had this dream about her deceased mom, and she woke up, sat up in bed, and she could smell her perfume in the bedroom. Why does God allow this? Those of you that have had this experience, I believe, in my opinion, two reasons. Number one, it's as if God is telling us that the person is now at peace, and number two, we need to be at peace. The person is now at peace, and we need to be in peace. And people would say, "Oh, Father, that's ridiculous. Look, this is just the subconscious coming out in dreams, and that's silly." Maybe. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe there's a spiritual component. That the person is saying, "I'm at peace and I want you to be at peace." And why am I saying this? Because sometimes for some people, their enemy is now dead. The person is no longer with us. And they will still hold on to them for years and years and years, like a dog chasing its tail. You have any idea how much emotional energy that takes? But they won't let it go. My peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives it to you, do I give it to you. And it's possible, just possible, that the way God gives us peace and real happiness is by our enemies.